All right, Johnny C and Junichiro, game number one. Here we go. Guys, if you're excited, I'm excited too because this is a semifinals, and whoever wins this first best of five series for tonight will be advancing to the grand finals, and the loser, of course, will be on the battle for third. As we can see, another place safe for both teams. They just want to take that armor down so that they can establish an early lead on our game number one. But there's a freeze coming in from Johnny C, and Junichiro, line number five, is really catching up here, but it will let he will let that slide in as his armor will be taken down and some more slimmer of the HP as well. And the line number three coming in shortly for Junichiro. He wants that armor takedown as well, and he will be successful. As line number five, another tag of war match. We have two freeze coming from each other. We have a tag of war here, another freeze coming from Junichiro. They really want that power up. That power up is a stun, by the way, guys. That is going to be a very critical on this matchup on game number one, as Junichiro will be securing that power up and a little bit of breathing room for his HP and armor as well. It's not a stun, guys. It's like a barrier or a breathing room for him. But he will be taking down a lot of damage here on the line number five. But Johnny C will be returning that favor once again. We have an extra damage dealers here. We have the Speed Dragon on the line number four. Another tug of war match we are witnessing on line number four, but Junichiro will be securing that lane as he get also that power up to have a breathing room for his HP, as Johnny C will get that stun, the 3-second stun, but Junichiro is slowly but surely getting that damage on that line number four, getting that dragons slowly but surely here on the line number three for Johnny C. He wants to return the favor as well. There will be an extra shield. Here's a tight matchup. There will be a freeze coming in from Johnny C and additional barrier or shield for Johnny C as well. And we move on to this line number three, but Junichiro will secure game number one.
All right, thank you, Papa Kulas. That was a close fight. Look at that queue of the dragons. That is a good comeback for Junichiro, having a freeze dragon and size XL. If you saw that, I think it's a 2XL there to push back in the early game. That's why he had an advantage to win the game. And Papa Kulas?
Yeah, it's really the line number four and XL Dragons being pushed there by Junichiro, or executing those two XL Dragons with the extra damage as well when we're trying to push that lane. And he won that two matchup on line number four. That's why he got the advantage on game number one.
I agree. And congratulations for Junichiro having a first 1 point on our semifinalist batch 1. So let's go on to our game number 2. Papa Colas?
Game number two. Let's see if it's going to be a 1-1 or 2-0 in favor of Junichiro. I'm really excited to see this matchup because, yeah, just like what we mentioned earlier, both of these players yesterday, they swept their opponent. So it's really gonna I think it's going to be a tight match, or if this is going to be, or it will go down to game number 5, I will not be surprised.
Alright, let's go to our game number 2. Johnny C versus Junichiro.
Here we go as we enter the land of dragons. For this one, we will see the point of view for Johnny C, and Junichiro will be on the red side, getting getting the dragons as well, or the medium dragons and the small dragons for both of our players. And for our players, it seems like it's the same strategy as game number 1, but there will be a freeze coming in from Junichiro and also Johnny C returning the favor. They want that power up to stun the opponent's shuffle of cards or the dragons, so that they can have, or they can re-strategize on what they want to do on game number 2. But also Junichiro will be returning that 3-second stun as well. as we move on. But Johnny C is having a lead advantage here when it comes to the HP. There will be a freeze or dragon freeze coming from Junichiro. A little bit of space. That's the extra push coming in from Johnny C, the online number 4, as he will be moving on to that round, and 557 is the HP right now. But those small dragons, the damage dealers for Johnny C, is doing it for his for Junichiro, and it's like what happened on game number 1 earlier. We have like a bit of a tight matchup, but on game number 2, it's Johnny C leading the way, leading the tag of war, slowly getting that damage, slowly pushing all the dragons back to the base as he also gets all of damage, and Johnny C will take this victory as we go on to game number 3. It's a 1-1.
Thank you, Papa Kulas. That was a good game. If you saw that, Papa Kulas, Johnny C has a lucky draw in the early game, having many freeze dragon, and I noticed that Johnny C usually gets a good dragons and saving it to take an advantage, so that his small dragons can cross through. If you saw that, our Junichiro trying to defend on his lane, but Johnny C is keep using the freeze dragon out there, so he can get again 1 point. So let's see if they will give us a game number 5 on this fight, and let's go on to our game number 3. Papa Colas?
I think this is going to be a game number. I can feel it in my stomach.
Butterfly in my stomach.
Butterflies is my stomach. It's not just love, guys, but also for the game. I can feel that there's going to be a game number 5. I really believe that.
All right, so let's go on to our game number 3.
Game number 3, still Johnny C, Junichiro, 1-1 is the score. This is a game number 3, and whoever wins this will have a slight advantage for our best of 5 series. And remember, who wins this round will be moving on to the grand finals as we enter our game number 3. All right, another Junichiro point of view that we are going to see. Let's see if he will still capitalize that opportunity as he has on last game or game number 2. They are also always starting since game number 1 and game number 2. They're starting on line number 3, 4, and 5. They don't want anything action or any action coming from line number 1 and line number 2. They want that armor to be taken down. Johnny C will be the first one to do so, but Junichiro will return the favor with a damage itself as well. That's already been at 867. There's a freeze coming in from Junichiro, and also the line number 3 will be pushed down as well. Additional shield for Junichiro's dragons, and they now capitalizing on that line number 1. But line number 5 getting the damage done as well for Johnny C, and also there will be a freeze. Another power up coming in, the additional shield for the side of Junichiro's dragons. But line number 4, Johnny C is not doing anything against that line number 4. If you can see, guys, the damage is really taking its toll on his HP, although there will be a stun as well, but the damage has been done already. But on the line number 3, Johnny C will get that HP for his dragons or for his team, but it's really Junichiro's. Johnny C is not doing anything, although the damage is there as well. But this is just one more dragon to be pushed, and there's a freeze to prevent that from happening, and also Junichiro returning the favor. But the push itself and the XP here, Junichiro will take game number 3, 2-1.
Thank you for that, Papa Colas. And yes, we have a 2-1. I didn't expect the score. Just joking around because we already know that it's 2-1.
I saw what you did there. Yeah, it's 2-1. It's 1-1, and then whoever wins is gonna be. Whoa! That's a mind blown. You gave me brain freeze, not just in the game, but there's also.
I just noticed that your expression that what?
Wait,
what happened to Ash?
Oh my God! It's 2-1.
All right, and I just want to say that The one lane strategy is good, but in that fight, Junichiro was had a big advantage with that because
Mhm.
he has a big damage.
A lot of small dragons has
Yes.
been utilized by Junichiro. It's 60 damage already versus the medium dragons that been Johnny C is putting on the map or on the game. That's why even if Johnny C getting that damage as well, it's kind of bit of a low because it's small dragon versus medium dragon. We all know that when you have a small dragon, you have like a 60 to 70 damage. Right?
Sometimes it
So,
depends on the rarity. Sometimes
mm-hmm,
we got 58,
mm-hmm,
sometimes 57, but depends on the rarity of the dragons.
mm-hmm,
But still, you have a point regarding that. We still have a large amount of damage with the small one, aside besides to our other dragons. So vice versa with the large and XL of the dragons. So I think Junichiro I didn't I'm sorry, Johnny C didn't notice about that Junichiro has many small dragons out there, but
mm-hmm.
this is it. Let's find out to the next game. I just my mind is blowing with the 2-1 score. I was really that is really funny. All right. All right, let's go for our game number 4. Papa Colas, are you ready?
Game number 4. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
So Johnny C needs to win this to be a 2-2 to have a game number 5. It's really exciting. Since this is a semifinals, we can expect that all of our teams will put their best foot forward onto this matchup. And yeah, let's see what will happen in game number 4. Will it be a 3-1 or will it be a 2-2 to force a game number 5?
I agree. I'm very excited for this game. Let's go on our game number 4.
Enter the world of Dragon in the DragonMaster.
Let's go.
Let's go, Dragons. Let's go, Masters. And this is Johnny C's point of view that we are about to see. And wow, this is a new. They will start in line number 2 instead of line number 3, 4, and 5. But Johnny C getting that dragons already. But Junichiro is returning the favor. Yeah, I know you can hear this a lot, but you have to take the armor first. That's what matters the most. If you take down the armor, it's gonna be easy for you to deal some damage, but there will be a freeze. We have a little bit of tag of war on line number 1 and line number 4. Another freeze coming in from Junichiro, but the damage has already been done as well on line number 1. But Johnny C will get that victory on line number 4 as Junichiro will be focusing on that power up to stun at least 3 to 4 seconds all the shuffles for Johnny C. He also gets that damage done, although it's a 370 versus a 500 HP. Another tag of war coming in from the line number 4 with the XL Dragons and additional push coming in from Johnny C's Dragons. But Junichiro will have that power up to get a little bit of a breathing room for his Dragons and his HP. He can tie this HP to get this once he get this damage, but all of the dragons coming in from Johnny C on line number 3 will secure this game number 4 as we head on to a game number 5.
Yes, that was a good fight, and actually that was a close fight, Papa Colas.
Mm-hmm. It's that's like we expected in the playoffs, semifinals especially. It's a game for a game number 5 or a really close series. I will not be expecting a 3-0 tonight. I can guarantee you that. There will be no 3-0 tonight.
I remember yesterday's game. We have 2-3-0 game. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
I that is a mind blowing. But right now they give us a game number 5, and
Mm-hmm.
actually just a short of observation of the game. I saw that Junichiro in the early game
Mm-hmm.
is doing it again, going for one lane and using many small dragons. But
Mm-hmm.
Johnny C noticed that because that was the terror he experienced in the last game, and that's why he defend on the
He
early
returned
game.
the
Oh,
favor. He
yes.
returned the favor. Okay, you did this to me. I did this to you. You don't do that to me.
Don't do that.
You
All
don't do
right.
that to me.
And I win this fight. And let's find out who will win the game number 5. Papa Kulas, let's see who will go
Let's
on
go.
to the grand finalist. And let's watch our game number 5. Right there.
Okay, game number 5, guys. Whoever wins this game number 5 will advance to the grand finals.
Yes.
But the loser is not gonna go home without anything. It's gonna go down not the lower bracket, but a battle for third place.
Of course. Let's go. Game number 5.
Johnny C versus Junichiro. Let's see what will happen here. Game number 5. If I'm excited, I know you are excited too. All of our viewers watching at home, how many accounts you have for the raffle? Let's go. All right, game number 5, Johnny C's point of view. Let's see if Johnny C can capitalize this. It's this like semi reverse sweep per se. Let's see what will happen here. We started off on the line number 3, getting some push, getting some dragons there for the side of Johnny C. But Junichiro, he wants to take the damage or the armor first, so that he can capitalize on that line number 5. And yeah, he will be successful to do it so. He will be the first one to draw first blood of that HP, but there will be a freeze coming in from Johnny C. Another freeze coming from Junichiro. Oh, a double freeze as well, returning the favor. Let's see who will win this line number 3, and I think Johnny C will secure that, as he will be getting that HP at least half of Junichiro's bar. And however, Junichiro will get that armor to get enough space or breathing room for his HP before it can do some damage for the side of for Johnny C. There will be additional extra shield coming in from Junichiro's dragon, and there will be another push. A push there on the line number 3, and then I think Johnny C will win that line another or again, and Junichiro will let that slide. And as he is focusing on taking that damage on line number 1, there will be a power up from Junichiro's side on line number 5. That's gonna be like a barrier, or Johnny C don't want that to happen, as he will try to prevent that. But on line number 3, I think this is going to be it. No, the power up saves Junichiro, as he will be still alive here in game number 5. It's a close fight. Line number 1, there will be a tug of war. They want that armor. On line number 3, there is a tug of war as well. Let's see what will happen. And I think Johnny C will take that victory and will move on to the grand finals. Game number 2. Here we go. Alright, Ryle is gonna be the point of view for our match. And there's gonna be some slow pace here. Line number 1 and line number 2 is what we are seeing here to start off. But they want that damage to deal with on line number 5. A little bit of attack of war coming in for that Ryle and Blitz. But there will be a freeze coming in from Ryle to prevent that from happening, as he will be winning that line number 5, dealing some damage, massive damage from Ryle from 1,000 to 658, but there will be additional shield coming in. But Ryle is slowly taking it slow on that line number 5, getting the damage done, as Let's also returning that power up or returning the favor as well to have some breathing room for his HP. But it's now down to 471 for Let's, and for Brad it's 598. There will be a freeze. There will be a stun as well for 2.5 seconds. But Ryle is just focusing on that line number 5 because Let's is not doing anything to prevent that damage. A lot of slow or a lot of small dragons entering on his area. And this, I think this Ryle is just doing the damage done here. Let's start doing anything. And I think this is going to be it, guys. This is going to be it for Litz and Ryle. There will be a freeze to prevent that from happening as well. 115 HP, another freeze coming in from Litz to prevent that push. But I think Ryle will seal this deal and will even out the series 1-1.
Alright, thank you, Papa Colas. And that was a big damage there for small dragons in Bryle out there in early game. And good advantage for Bryle for that. And actually, I just noticed that Lit's gameplay is trying to clutch again in the last game. So having a low HP point, then trying to defend and trying to win the game. But it's too late. Bryle has already a small dragons going through or crossing through to the base of the Lit. So that was a close fight actually. And again, congratulations to Bryle, and we have a 1-1 point.
Yeah, I thought Let's will have that another moment of
Yes.
clutch moments, but
It's too late.
early part of game number two, Bryle dealt a lot of damage. Once he broke that armor down, and as we can see from 1,000 HP, it's already down to like 690 versus the 1,000 HP for Bryle. That's why he had a little bit of an advantage. If it comes to clutch games, that's a really big factor when you lead an early game. That's why you really need to protect or defend your base. So yeah, game number two belongs to Bryle. Let's see what will happen in game number three. And this is gonna be a 2-1 for sure.
Yes, this again 2-1.
Yes, it's gonna be a 2-1.
This is a mind blowing again. I'll gonna be shocked later on that we will have a 2-1.
2-1.
Alright. 2-1. Alright. But I agree with you, Papa Colas, regarding to the early game. Having a big damage in the early game have a good impact or advantage in the whole game. So as we witness, Elite's gameplay here is a good the last game and having a clutch game. So let's see what will be the strategy on the game number 3. Papa Colas, let's go on.
Let's go on.
Yes.
Game number three. What will happen? We will see a 2-1, of course. It's 1-1, guys. It's 1-1. We will see a 2-1. But whoever gets game number three will have a slight advantage of going into game number 4 because the momentum is there. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and game number 3 for our semifinals. Bryle versus Let's. And now Let's is our point of view. All right. Let's see. They're just waiting for all the dragons to load up as they are, or Let's is just thinking whether he's going to put that to line 1. And he decided, okay, line 1 it is. And there will be already an early skirmish here on line number 1. They want that armor to be taken down. But Let's has a different plan on mind. He wants that power up. But Bryle already having them damage done here. 833 and to 849. But there will be a stun for 3 seconds. And Let's is still doing that strategy. There will be a bomb to clear out that line number 4. And the strategy from Let's, he goes back on what he did on game number 1. He wants that line number 5 to deal some damage. He wants that line to win this game number 3. But there will be a push coming in on line number 2 for Bryle. Let's will be moving on to line number 5 only. And again, guys, 499, 524, there will be a heal. However, this game number 3 is just play safe strategy. They don't want any tug of war happening or any tug of war going on. There will be additional shield. 399 versus 374. It's a close fight for this game number 3 as now we go to the latter part of the game. There will be a freeze coming from Bryle. Let's is now returning the favor. We will see a tug of war happening on line number 3. There is enough space for Liz to put some dragons, and he will be winning that line as he will take a massive damage as well, and he will get that game number 3. 2-1 for Let's.
Thank you, Papa Kulas. And that was a mind-blowing game again. And as I saw, I thought Brad was gonna win that game,
Mm-hmm.
but it suddenly changed, and still it's doing that again. The
Mm-hmm.
low HP. If you remember, Braille has 300 I think, and then Litz has
Mm-hmm.
200 HP, and there we go. Let's try again to outplay Braille here. And as you notice, partner, that was a new dragons for Litz, having a bomb dragon
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Above Dragon.
freeze. Yes, freeze dragon.
He's reserving all the power-ups the Bomb Dragon and the Freeze Dragon in the latter part of the game on game number 3. Yes, on the early game you can see any actions going on, but on the latter part when they hit that 390 or 390 versus 345, that's where the tag of war came on line number 3, and a lot of power-ups being utilized by Let's. That's why he got that game number 3.
Yes, I agree. And let's not delay the game number 4. And this will be a let's see if this will be a final game, or it will
Mm-hmm.
be let's going to our final. So
Grand finals
yes, so our current score, we have 2-1.
2-1.
Yes, 2-1. And first to raise 3 points will go on to our finals. And let's go again. 2-1, 2 points for Litz, and 1 point for Braille. And let's go to our game number 4.
Okay, this is the game number 4. This is our prediction, guys. Earlier, if you are watching, not just focusing on the giveaway, our prediction, me and my partner, is game number 4. Let's see if that prediction is 100% or we will go to game number 5 as we enter the game number 4. Let's versus Brian. Whoever wins this will move on to the grand finals.
All right. And let's find out.
Okay, here we go. Let's point of view once again. Let's see the predictions. If we can predict, then we can proceed to every prediction that we have on for today's match. But we are now starting in online number 2. An early tag of war, an early skirmish here. They want that armor to be broken down so that they can also already deal some damage. There's a bomb to prevent that from happening, as Let's will be securing that. But Brian has a different strategy in mind. He wants that power up, that stun, to his advantage so that he can go ahead and proceed with his strategy. But Let's already returning the favor. Oh, and he will not be letting that happening as he bomb that line number 4. A little bit of tag of war coming in. There will be a freeze from Bryle. Double freeze from Bryle. But Let's says, no, 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 my friend. I won't let that happen. There's enough space. But that extra push coming in from Bryle will seal the deal on line number 4 with the damage. A massive damage coming in from Bryle. 940 to 719. The line number 3, that's an armor already. That's a power up, and Let's will prevent that from getting Bryle from getting it. And also on line number 5, that's gonna be an early skirmish or a tag of war perhaps. But on line number 4, let's focus on this. Let's see if Let's will be able to take down that stun. And also Bryle getting that almost 500 HP damage against Let's. And also returning the favor. However, it's like a 100 differential or difference in terms of HP. Bryle is leading here. There will be a freeze coming in on line number 3 for Bryle. There will be a push. There will be a bomb as well to prevent that from happening. There's an HP recovery for Bryle. He will be getting that. Another 575 here. There will be another bomb to prevent that from happening as well. But Litz has a different strategy in mind. Okay, I will be focusing on line number 3 and line number 2 to get that damage, even if it's just a small slimmer of HP. 420 versus 424. There will be a freeze coming in from Bryle. They want that power up, but there's enough space for Litz to put some dragons, and I think he will win this line number 5 as Bryle will be moving on that line number 3, 390 to 320, but 243 already, 162, 102 is left for the HP of Bryle, and we have here a game or a match, guys, but Litz is now returning that damage as he will be moving on to grand finals. Bros, let's go, bros.
Let's
Game
go.
number 1.
Okay, let's go to our third competition. So we have Junichiro versus Bural, and this is the game number 1. Partner, take it away.
Let's go. Let's go, bros. Let's watch this number 1, bros. All right, so this is Bryle's point of view about it. As we start this, low, so late line or one late strategy. They want that, of course, they want that armor to be broken down, but there's coming from Bryle. They need to as well. They want the dagger bar skirmishes down the line number 5, but Junichiro will be getting that advantage. He will take good damage against Bryle, but Bryle will slowly but surely return to favor. He gets another side, or rather, Junichiro will get that return to favor as well, making some enough space to push that line number 5. No one is backing down, but Junichiro says, okay, you win this line, I will be focusing on line number 4 to get that power up on line number 4. But Bryle is slowly taking damage after damage against Junichiro on this game number 1. We have a little bit of matchup coming in on line number 3. Junichiro wants that heal, additional HP for his dragons. But Bryle have another idea on line number 2. He will be pushing it down slowly but surely, getting the damage there as well on line number 5, or line number 4 rather. And also on line number 2, he will win that line, but Junichiro is really slowly winning the favor. We have a close match here. 210 versus 189. We have a one lane strategy for both of our players. Who will win this round? Who will win the race? Who's dragon walk faster or runs faster? There's a piece coming in to prevent that damage from happening, but that is presenting the favor, and Bryle will secure game number 1 in this best of 5.
Thank you, Papa Colas. That was a close fight. Look at the dragons, and that's the good thing that Bryle has a XL dragon to defend himself on the 3rd lane and going through the 4th lane. But I also felt that Bryle had a confusion in the early game, if you noticed that.
It's trades of freeze coming in for Bryle and Junichiro on that latter part of the match. It's like it's down to 120, then 189, and then they have a sliver of HP left. But the freeze is doing it for our players. We saw last night a triple freeze. Now we have a double freeze coming in for. But this is just a. It's not just a battle for 3rd, guys. It is a match that we have, and it's really for our players. Giving it that they're all for this match, and I can expect a game number 4, at least a game number 5 for our batch number 3.
All right. Thank you for that, Papa Colas. And actually, I agree. And still, though there's a confusion in the early game, Bryle still get back on his feet and focusing on the game. It turns great. And congratulations for winning the game number 1. And let's see if they will give us a game number 4 and game number 5. As you predict, this will be a game number 3 only, but I feel that there will be a game number 5 because as we witness, our game number 1 has a very close fight, very close fight, and let's see. So let's find out right now.
Let's see, bro.
Pare.
Let's go, Pare.
Let's
Game number 2.
All right, let's go, Pare. Again, Junichiro versus Bryle for a 3rd competition.
Junichiro versus Brawl Power. Let's go to game number 2. Will we see it 1-1 or will we see a 2-0 as we enter the Dragon Master? Let's go. So Junichiro's point of view is we are seeing right now. So they're just waiting for the cooldowns, slowly getting some strategy coming in. Line number 3, line number 2 is what we are starting right now. They just want that armor to be broken down. But on line number 5, we have a little bit of tag of war. Braille is pushing the dragons of Junichiro on the other side, and he will be winning that round or that line. But Junichiro is the one who first initiate the damage and the armor, as well as he slowly but surely getting some massive damage done against Braille. But there is another freeze coming in from Braille. He don't want any push from happening, and Junichiro is just focusing on one lane strategy. Braille will get that armor to get enough breathing room for his HP, but there will be a freeze. Junichiro is just focusing on line number 2. Now he moves on to line number 3, but Braille is also going in on line number 4 to deal some damage. We have a close fight here as we take on game number 2. There's a freeze to prevent anything from happening on that line number 3 as we go on to our line number 4. There's a little bit of a tug of war coming in, and there's a freeze coming from Junichiro, and Braille will securing that line number 4, and Junichiro and Braille is battling out on that line number 5. 197 versus 202. Line number 2 is now available for Braille, and there will be a freeze coming in for Junichiro, and there's a push, there's a defense coming in, but on line number 5, Junichiro deals the damage as he takes game number 2.
Thank you, partner. And again, we see a close fight. So I'm not sure if this will be a game number 4 on only, because I'm very sure that the next game will be a 2-1 score. Here we go again.
Oh my god, I did. Oh, pare, you're so great at predicting the score.
Your brain is loading right now.
Yeah, my brain is freezing like the dragons in the DragonMaster.
Like a priest dragon. All right. So, again, congratulations to Junichiro. So we have right now a 1-1 score. And are you ready for the third game? As you said, your prediction will be at 3 games only, but we will have.
Prediction is game number 4.
Oh, really? Wait, my brain is slowly right now.
Replay.
Let's take 2. Okay, your prediction is game number 4.
Yes,
Okay.
so game number 4 and Grand Palace is game number 5.
All right, so let's go on to our game number 3, partner, and let's see if this will be a 2 points for Junichiro or 2 points for Braille. Again, this will be I'm very sure of that will be a 2-1 score.
That's a 100% prediction, partner. It's gonna be a 2-1 after game number 3.
Alright, it's like a alcohol, the 99.9%. Let's go for a game number.
Let's go game number 3.
Alright, let's
Game
go.
number 3, Junichiro versus Braille. The prediction is 2-1, just like the alcohol. 99.9% of germs is died, but the 1%, that's Sasuke. It's like in the Uchiha clan.
Let's go. Game number 3.
All right, game number 3, Junichiro is our point of view as we head on to game number 3. Who will get the 2-1 advantage? Is it going to be Junichiro or Braille? Same strategy for both of our players. Line or 1 lane strategy, but Junichiro said, nope, Papa Kulas, I will be going to line number 5 because there's an armor. Because Braille is now taking its wants to take by armor and deal some damage, and he successfully get that. He returned the favor as well, but the massive damage coming in from small dragons from Junichiro is happening. But there will be a tag of war. There will be a freeze on line number 4. They want that power up. Junichiro returning the favor as well. Another freeze from Brian. A double freeze. Let's see if Junichiro... Oh, there is no enough space as he will let that slide in. He will get stunned for 3 seconds. But Junichiro said, okay, you got that power up. I will have this damage on line number 5. This is gonna be a close match. On the line number 3, we have a little bit of tag of war going in. And I think Brian will win this line as he or Junichiro will also moving on from that line as well. But if there's a damage on line number 3, there's also a damage happening from Junichiro on line number 5. Another freeze coming in. There's an extra shield or barrier for Junichiro. There's enough space to put some dragons on that line number 3. We'll see it happening here. Junichiro will return that push as he will be moving or winning that line number 3. A massive damage, and I think this is going to be it for game number 3 as Junichiro take a commanding 2-1 lead.
Alright, thank you, partner. And that was very, very intense game. Always a close match game.
It's only a close match. It's like they are returning the damage. If Junichiro or Brian will procure or inflict massive damage on Junichiro will return the favor as well. So it's a tough matchup. Let's see if it's going to be a game number 4 only, or we will have another game number 5 on our hands.
Alright, so let's go back to the game. First, about Junichiro and Bral. Actually, I just noticed that the advantage of Junichiro on the late game has many big dragons to push back, because again, we have a close match again, and the advantage here is the Q. If you're lucky in the Q dragons, you will win the lane. And I saw that Junichiro has many big dragons to push the lane, push back, and giving massive damage, as you mentioned it earlier. And that will be his advantage. And again, congratulations, Junichiro, for winning the game number 3. So, partner, let's go to our game number 5. Are you excited for our game number 4?
Yes, I'm excited to see if my prediction is another 100%.
Alright. It's like an alcohol again. Pare.
Yes, pare. Let's go, pare. Game number 4, pare.
Alright. Game number 4 of our third competition.
Alright, game number 4, Junichiro versus Brian. Let's see if Junichiro will be the third placer or Brian says, nope, I will deny that for the meantime. Let's go on to game number 5. But it will start here in game number 4 if he wants that to happen. And same strategy for Junichiro. He wants line number 3, focusing on that one lane strategy, and also for Brian, just like in game number 3, line number 2. They touched out each other's armor. They are dealing some massive damage, but a lot of pressure coming in for the side of Junichiro because he already has like a 740 HP. Oh, there's a bomb coming in from Brian, but it's just returning each other's favor, getting some damage done, but 560 versus 700 HP. He is reserving. You can see, guys, the 2 large dragons. He is reserving that in the latter part of the game. As we head on to line number 3, Junichiro wants that power up or wants that armor. Brian is returning the favor with the bombs on the line number 4. As we go on to line number 3, let's focus on that. There's a little bit of a tag of war coming in. A freeze coming in from Junichiro. Another push back coming in from Brad. He don't want that line number 3 to be dominated by Junichiro, but there is no enough space for him to place some dragons as he will be getting that damage, or Junichiro will get that damage, but Brian has a different set of mind here. He had that armor and additional HP, but on line number 5, another tug of war is coming in. Junichiro is preventing that, but Brian has a different plan in mind. He will use that bomb dragon to prevent actions from happening on that line number 5 as we take things in a little bit of a breather for this game number 4 as we get to see. But there's a damage coming in from Junichiro. 2 small dragons already being utilized, but Brian has a power up an immunity per se, but on line number 3, on line number 4, you can see that 60% minus 60 damage from his HP. And line number 4 is slowly getting there for Junichiro. We have a little bit of tag of war. There's a freeze coming from Junichiro on line number 5. Line number 4, slowly uh, slowly getting that secured for defense for Bryle. But on line number 5, this is where we can see and happening as Junichiro will dominate that line as he will be 3-1 and get that third place. Johnny C versus Litz. Whoever wins this is going to be the grand champion of our Dragon Master tournament. As we enter game number 1, the best of 5 series, Johnny C versus Litz. Alright, they are just waiting for their dragons to load up. Starting in line number 2 and line number 1 for Johnny C and Litz. And now moving on to line number 5 as they saw, or Johnny C saw like an opportunity there for the power up, but Litz is returning the favor as well, going into the line number 1, taking down that armor for Johnny C, and also some damage has been dealt for his side. But Johnny C slowly returning the favor as well with the damage of his own, a massive damage perhaps for the side of Johnny C against Litz, but they are just focusing on one lane strategy. They don't want any action right away. They want to see the strategy of each other, but that's going to be changed as Johnny C will lose that line number 4 against Litz, and he will be moving on that line number 3 to get that HP, or at least a glimmer of recovery for his HP. And also Litz will be dealing some damage here, but a lot of small dragons coming in for Litz. He uses the freeze to prevent a push coming in, but Johnny C is clutch on that dragon, or dragon, to push that lane, but Litz will be winning that line number 4. As we go on to line number 3, Johnny C slowly but surely getting the damage done as well. 104 to 100 HP. We have a little bit of close match on our game number 1. Litz will get that HP recovery, at least a half of it, but there is a damage from Johnny C on line number 1 as he takes game number 1.
And thank you for that, partner. Actually, that was a close fight, as you mentioned it before. And I actually thought that Johnny C will win that fight. And that was a mind-blowing game. Mind-blowing game.
Yeah, Johnny C won that game number 1 on that line number 5.
Yeah.
It's a clutch damage. Again, as we can see for our players, they're just focusing on dealing damage, and then on the latter part, they will have like a little bit of a tag of war, not what we witnessed for the past or the previous series that we had casted earlier. This round or this grand finals, we can expect that the strategy will be the same at to the very end of our tournament.
Yes, I agree. And that was again a close fight and a calm start actually, but having a fight in the late game. This is the Litz strategy. Actually, I thought that Litz will win that game because if in the late game, either if she has a low HP, then he will fight in the end and win the game. If we notice that the HP is advantage of the Litz in that game, but still Johnny C turns around the game and winning the game number 1. Again, congratulations for Johnny C. And let's find out the game number 2. Who will win? The 2 points, or is it a
or
1-1?
1-1.
Yes. This is not an accurate 2-1, alright? So later
Yeah.
on, let's see if they will give us a 2-1.
If there's gonna be a 1-1, it's gonna be a 2-1 next game number 3.
Alright, so let's go to our game number 2. Papakulas.
Let's go. All right, game number one, guys. Let's see who will win. Who will have like or will we see Johnny C commanding 2-0, or let's will returning the favor and force this to a 1-1 as we head on to game number 2. All right, so we will see Let's point of view this time, and Johnny C on the red side. All right, so same thing for game number 1. They started a little bit slow on line number 2. Johnny C started on line number 4, and Let's will be on moving on to that line number 5 as he take out that power up. But Johnny C slowly getting that damage and that armor as well, but Litz is now returning the favor with the damage of his own, and we will be moving on to this line number 3 as we head on. Johnny C will get that damage as well, but Litz is slowly taking some damage here on line number 5. There was a freeze coming in. Johnny C as well returning the damage on line number 5, slowly but surely. 727 is his HP, and Let's is now at 564 with that power up to have like a little bit of breathing room. But Let's is now dominating on line number 5 as he gets that or dealt damage from Johnny C. That's from 700, or that's 500 down to 300 to 284 rather. Let's HP is 397, still ahead of Johnny C, slowly taking that damage done on the line number 5, but Johnny C is returning the favor as well, and there will be a little bit of skirmish. Johnny C using that Dragon Freeze to push or to fight back against Let's, but there's no enough space for Johnny C to play some dragons, and this is going to be Let's game number 2. Now we have a match at hand. It's 1-1.
I agree, and thank you for that, Papa Kulas. And that was a close. Actually, that was a different strategy for Let's, and giving a high damage early to a late game. And we thought, I'm actually expecting the Let's gameplay of the late game strategy that will turn around the game, and it turns out that this is a different kind of game, or I think it's just confusing Johnny C what strategy she will use in this game. And partner?
Yeah, I agree with you, Ash, with that analysis. And slowly although Johnny C have the upper hand on the damage at first, but on line number 5, as we can see, a lot of small dragons slowly getting on Johnny C's department. That's why he dealt some damage there. If you can see, from 684 it's down to 284 in an instant. That's why on that latter part, or that latter skirmish on line number 5, he won that round.
Yes.
That's why we have at 1-1 on our grand finals.
Yes, I agree. And let's not delay the game number 3. Are you ready for game number 3? And I'm sure this will be a 2-1. This is a 100%
Alcohol
prediction.
too, your alcohol too. That's already a prediction, 100%.
It's 100%. It's not 99, because we are sure that this next
Yes.
game will be a 2-1, because we have a 1-1 right now. And let's go on to our game number 3. Again, it's Litz versus Johnny C.
All right. Who will get the 2-1 advantage? Is it going to be Johnny C or Let's? Let's find out on game number 3. All right, Johnny C is our point of view right now. All right, so guys, excited? I am excited. All of us are excited. The DragonMaster community is excited. Here we go. Game number 3. Johnny C versus Let's. Who will get that 2-1? They started off a little bit of a slow start here on game number 3, as Johnny C will be we want that armor on his department, but Let's will not let that happen, as he also won that line number 4 to take some damage done, and also the armor is broken down as well. But Johnny C already returning the favor. And line number 5, they don't want anything happening from there, so they just want to let that slide in. And Johnny C and let's see, they're just focusing on line number 3 and line number 4. You can see a lot of small dragons or medium dragons has been put out on the field on that line number 4 for Johnny C. Slowly getting that damage. Line number 2, there's a freeze for each other. Another freeze coming in from Johnny C, and let's a double freeze as well. If he can do that, I will do that too. Let's set on Johnny C, but Johnny C will be returning that line, or will be winning that line number 2, as he will be dealing a massive damage as well. Line number 5 is still not going up, but it will be changed because Johnny C will be putting some extra reinforcement for that to push. And also Litz is now returning the favor with the damage on his own on line number 3. A lot of massive damage coming in as well for Litz, as Johnny C's HP is now down to 338, but Johnny C secures this game number 3 with a damage of his own. Is now 2-1.
Thank you, partner. All right, so we have a 2-1 points, and this is a 100% prediction. Pare.
Pare, you're good at predicting the score, pare.
Janice actually is doing a good job countering some strategy of Litz, because as we witness, Litz has a late game strategy, so that's why I feel that Litz is doing a different strategy here, but we don't know if Litz is just testing Johnny C for her bait. Let's call that a bait strategy. But
A bait strategy. I think that's that you're correct. A bait strategy, especially on line number 5. As you can see, it started not moving when their HP is like 700. Johnny C put some damage on that field when it's 100 only for Litz. That's why that's a really good strategy for Johnny C. He let it happen. Okay, we're not gonna move that line number 5. We'll not move it for now until I get the opportunity. And he saw the right opportunity there. He saw that, okay, there's no enough space for him to play some dragons. I will be taking that opportunity, and that's why he got that game number 2.
that's a great observation. I agree with you, Papa Colas. And actually, this is finals, but we don't know what will happen, what will strategy they will use, if it's gonna be a yesterday strategy or earlier strategy, but who knows. Let's find out, Papa Colas. And are you ready to our game number 4? Is it game number 4 only? Is it time to shine for Johnny C if he will win this game, or is it a 2-2 points for Leeds to stand up again on the battlefield? So let's go on to a game number 4, partner.
All right. Okay, who will be getting the game number 4? This is a turnaround for Johnny C or Litz. If he wants to have a game number 5, this is the right moment to step up, or Johnny C will secure the champion on our DragonMaster tournament. Let's proceed. Game number 4, Litz versus Johnny C. 1-2 for Litz, 2-1 for Johnny C. Will we see a game number 5, or Johnny C will close the deal in game number 4? Start out like what we used to on the first couple of games, but we have an early skirmish here coming in from Litz and Johnny C on the line number 5. He returned that XL. He changed his mind, but okay, we will win that line number 5. But Johnny C has a different plan in mind. But the damage is already been done for Litz, as he is already 722 HP. Johnny C is now just focusing on one lane strategy. There's a freeze coming from Litz to prevent that defense from Johnny C, and also on that line number 5, there's a freeze coming in from Johnny C as well. He returned that favor. A double freeze coming in. He wants that armor. There's no space for Litz to place some dragon, and he will let that slide as he move on to line number 3 to get that HP recovery, at least to save his life here in the grand finals, to try and put things into 2-2 standing. On line number 4, here we go. We have a freeze coming in from Litz. He wants that power. They both want that power up, but there's no space in between for Johnny C to play some dragons, and he will be moving on as well on line number 5. But the damage is massive from Litz. It's down to 217 versus 514. Now 377 to 157, 200 differential in terms of the HP. There's a lot of damage coming in on the line number 3. It's already been a 30 minus 30 damage, and another one marching in on the line number 3, but there is a massive damage as well. Let's will tie the series into a 2-2. We have a game number 5.
Yes, Papa Colas. Oh my, we have a game number 5. Let's go, guys. And yeah, I just noticed that this game is a great thing about actually my mind is loading right now, and actually because of Litz. Why? Because Litz is using a different kinds of strategy, not sticking in one strategy only. So using a new strategy, and actually I feel Johnny C is very confused. What will be the strategy of Litz? So again, this is a finals. This is our finals. So I'm very sure they are giving their best to try to win, and using a different strategy again.
Again.
Pare.
And
My mouth is
it's a
blown.
close fight on game number 4. Johnny C could have had it. It's just that the bloodlust or the lifesteal proc for Let's on that last moments. That's why he got a little bit of HP left.
Yes.
That's why he secures the game number 4. And as we mentioned, as we predicted, game number 5, just like
Here we
Thanos
go.
with all of the Infinity Stones, one snap can change it all. Here in game number 5, who will win? We will see.
All right, let's go to our game number 5. Is it Litz or is it Johnny? Support your favorite players out there. So just comment in the comment section, guys. Is it Litz? Is it Litz? Or is it Johnny?
Let's go.
Johnny C? Or Litz?
Johnny C.
My mind is still loading, and different kinds of game of Litz. And actually I have a I'm learning too many strategy, and actually I'm playing the game, so it really helps. Really helps a lot. So if you're a new player in the Dragon Master, I hope you learn a lot with this tournament, and I hope to see you next time if we have another tournament. Who knows? Next month.
Yeah, who knows? Next
Or
month.
this month.
You will see me again.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on to our next game. Again, this is a game number 5. This will be the last game for today, and we will see who will be the champion for this tournament. Top players. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Game number 5. We are down to best of 1. Whoever wins this game will be the grand champion of our Dragon Master tournament. So, without further ado, let's enter the world of dragons. Dragon Master tournament game number 5. Litz versus Johnny C. It's down to best of 1. Who will win who will be the grand champion for our tournament? Starting like we used to, like we saw on the previous matches. Line number 2, line number 5, line number 4. Johnny C wants that stun already to have a little bit of advantage, but thus the bloodlust and the armor will be taken down by a Litz against Johnny C. There's a freeze coming in. He got that stun. He wants that armor. All of them want that armor. They both want that armor, but there's a freeze coming in from Litz. Johnny C will return the favor as well, and he will try to push and defend his department, but Litz will be the winner on that line number 5, and he will be moving on on line number 4. He will be taking that armor to at least to have a little bit of breathing room on his department. But the life steal once again has been procced by Litz. Another damage coming in from Litz on that line number 5. Johnny C wants that slimmer of HP recovery on his department as well. They are just focusing on one lane strategy. Both of them are dealing some damage, but Litz is doing enough space for his department, for his HP. A lot of procs, a lot of life steal or bloodlust coming in from Litz. That damage dealing department, no one wants to have an action. Litz is just placing dragons on that line number 5. I think this is going to be it, but no, no, no. Johnny C said there will be a freeze. He will try to defend that, but Litz has a different strategy in mind. I have my dragons here to help me to win this game number 5, and he is the champion of Dragon Master Tournament.